what do you think the difference is? I know Alibi had mentioned it on the pod, just how TDE was able to work like these projects and like, their artists, and they really do a phenomenal job of like letting their artists be artists and letting them naturally like grow. But what do you think it was about Kendrick specifically that allowed him to be crowned like that next up for the West? When even whether you're standing next to Dre or not, you had the Game out there, you had Bishop Lamont out there. You know what I'm saying? You had, like I said, Nip eventually, Nip got bigger on his own, but Nip was around early on. I remember I was at the Susan light skinned Snoop. Like he would always like just bug me. I'm like, this is light skinned Snoop. But there were other like West Coast artists kind of in that gap. Like, why was it that Kendrick was the one that broke through like he did versus those other artists?
Yeah, Alicia.
Don't ask
me. Alicia, answer for the West. That's why you're here.
Well, I think Kendrick was bubbling for a very long time before Good Kid. Remember, I've been a fan literally of Kendrick probably since about 2008, and that was just off of some ciphers. And then obviously a really dedicated Section 80, High Power. I think part of
High Power is my shit, and I found that years later. I love that song.
So I think that a big part of it is he speaks for a broader generation than like Game is straight gang banging. Game got shot 9 times. Kendrick, on the other hand, is literally what most kids in this neighborhood are, or they want to be. That I'm just a good kid in this crazy city. And I think that voice that was so relatable to so many people, that here we are. And then I think his voice it's so authentic. And when you hear that authenticity, you really respect it. I don't think any of us ever questioned if he really saw a nigga with his brains blown out at the same liquor store where hangs out. I
always fill in that blank in my head and it says James. I don't know if
me too. Right. Me too. I always say James.
You say James? I always say Keith.
You say Keith?
I don't know why. Keith. That was Keith.
It just sounds like James to me.
It does. See? All right. Survivor, what's it sound like to you?
It doesn't sound like anything because I don't gravitate to that project at all. I've listened to it maybe 5 times since it came out and 4 for this podcast. It's
boo this man.
It's
boo this man.
I mean, he got a